What is up, everybody? Here she is. We've gotten quite a bit more done than thought I was going to. Where we left off on the last video, she was still up on the stand and just had the front suspension on. Everything was still kind of mocked up, but here we are. Cat's out of the bag with the swing arm color. So we've done quite a bit since last left off. We finished all the wiring. Not that there was much to do, but mounted the CDI, did all the wiring, ran the kill switch wires, got all that squared away. Motor's completely buttoned up. Rear shock is back from Blommel. Had him rebuild that. The thing's good to go. Feels pretty good. Stock 87 swing arm. BCC sprocket guard. TRX250R rear caliper. TRX250R rotor guard, GT Thunder. And a stainless steel Lone Star Excalibur axle, adjustable, but I have it on the widest width to kind of match the +3s up front. I do like the back to be just a scotch narrower than the front, but I won't really be able to do that or measure that until I get everything where I want, until the quad's completely finished, and I do the final alignment on the front suspension. Right now it's just kind of, all I've done right now is make sure the threads are the same on all the heims and tie rods. So everything's equal on both sides, but it's not aligned. You know, obviously you still have to align it. This just kind of gets you in the ballpark. So need to do an alignment. I am getting rid of these 450 shocks. They're just, it's not going to work. I thought I could do it, but they're just too stiff. So there's really no give. I mean, it is so stiff. So I've got some new shocks coming. We'll save that for the next video to go over that. I did do the tank switch out. So the stock 88 red tank is now on that 250R. And the tank that was on that, the clear Clark tank, is on this. And I'm trying to think here. So it's ready to fire. And I have fired it. It starts right up. And I killed it right away. And the reason for that is, I thought I could get away with using these old exhaust hangers that I had, that I cleaned up. And cosmetically, they look fine. But this one, the rubber pretty much disintegrated in it. And I just don't want to start it just yet, because the reason is these like to leak on the 250Rs. This exhaust flange right here. The stock one's pretty much leaked from the factory, but I've got a billet flange here with the O-rings, and I got some high temp Honda Bond on there, and I just do not want the exhaust to rattle so bad that it breaks that seal. So I'm just doing my best to hold off until I get new exhaust hangers. I got them from NPM, the billet ones. They're the same ones that I run on the black 250R. So that's all good to go. For the little bit that it ran, it sounds great. It was like, I think it started on the second kick. So it's like ready to go. Feels really good. Starts up right away. No ticks or noises. I think we're good to go. Carburetor felt good. It's jetted good. Might have to fatten it up a little bit for the cooler weather. Last time I ran this carb was in August, so it was hot. So we'll probably fatten it up a little bit. Radiator's got fluids in it. All the brakes are bled. I'm having a little bit of trouble with this front left one. I'm not sure what's going on. But the outer pad on the caliper is actually pulling in on the rotor. So I don't know if I got a bent spindle or something. I have to check it out a little further, but everything else feels really good. I do have the Tusk radiator fan. I still have to mount that up, and I still have the D-wall battery adapter that I have on the back of the airbox. So we do have to install that right here for the battery. Got a video on that. I thought about maybe doing like a how-to on how to install it, but it's kind of self-explanatory, so I just don't really like doing those kind of videos. What else here? Got a Ccp Steering Stabilizer on the way. I decided to go with that instead of the Precision. The 250R and the Z400 both have Precisions, and I love them. But just to fit the budget type build that this is, I figured I would give the Ccp a try. It's kind of like a knockoff Precision, but it's still better than a stick stabilizer. So we're gonna go with that. Oh, you can also see I didn't end up going with the 400EX front bumper. The one that I bought that I thought was for a 250R isn't. It's for something else, and I still have it, and I could modify it to fit. It just this one just is easier to fit. And the other good plus to this is it's going to give me more radiator flow. So we're going to stick with that guy. I'm still not 100% happy with those full flights. If I could go back, I wouldn't buy them, but we're going to run them. We got them. So got that. Radiator shrouds are on. You've already seen that. Nerf bars. I don't know if I had that in the last video of them refinished or not, but everything has been rebrushed and cleaned. New stickers. Good to go. Coolant hoses are on. That's really pretty much it, guys. It's a done deal, and I have come in under budget. So this is a completely doable thing. People, if you're concerned about parts availability for these, I built it from a frame. I didn't have a donor quad here. This is completely from nothing. Parts on eBay, the Facebook groups, local marketplace sales. They're out there. The parts are out there. I did this in how many weeks has it been? 4 weeks. From nothing to this in 4 weeks. So if you're worried about parts availability for 1987 250R, 1986 or 1989, they're out there. There's so many parts, so you don't need to worry about it. Get one, enjoy it, build it, have fun. She's ready. She's done. I have now for me is the hard part. Like, it's together. That's kind of the fun part of it's hunting all the parts and then assembling it, cleaning them and assembling them. But now the hard part to me is all the fine tuning. I have the plastics. I've already mounted them. I'll save that for the next video because I have a ton of I've got some trimming I need to do. They're probably okay to run as is, but just where the rear fenders and the front fenders meet, I just don't like it. On these ones, I've got them pretty good for Meyer plastics. They meet pretty good. These ones look pretty bad, so I need to spend some time fine tuning that. I need to do the alignment. I need to get that caliper sorted out there, and I need to get the radiator fan on. It's really just a bunch of little nitpicky fine-tuning stuff from here, and this is the stuff that just drags on, and this is where I end up spending so much time that I really probably don't need to. I could probably just slap it together and go, but I really like to strive for perfection. I know we'll never get to perfection, but we'll get something that's excellent as a result. So that's what we're going to go for. We're going to spend another weekend or two getting it dialed in, and then we'll kind of do a walk around video with it running, do some riding videos, and figure out what we're going to do. Am I going to keep it? Am I going to sell it? I'm not sure. I definitely want to enjoy it for a little bit, but I might end up selling it. We'll see what happens. So, oh, I also did the skid plate on here. This is a BCC skid. Again, I don't recommend them. I'm running one on that one, and the only reason I'm running them is because I think they're like 65 bucks, but the fitment isn't that great. You have to do some, you have to heat them up a little bit, bend them, re-drill some of the mounting holes. It uses like little electrical conduit holders for the mounts, so it's just kind of cheapy. But guess what? It's a skid plate, and it's going to get messed up and bashed up, and so if next go around, I'll go with a higher end polyurethane skid plate. I wish TM Design Works made a skid plate for these, because I had one on my Raptor 700 and I run one on that the YZ 400 back there, and those fit like you can put them on in 10 minutes. They fit that good, whereas these, they just not that great. But they're plastic, they're easy to make fit. So for 65 bucks, I guess it's kind of worth the hassle, but they're not a plug and play deal like the more expensive ones, obviously. And so that's kind of where we're at. I got the dual brake lines ran. These are my favorite, these streamlined dual braided brake lines. These Alba is out of stock on the blue and silver and black clamps, which is what I would have picked for these. So I figured I would try these anodized cheaper ones on eBay. They're okay, but they don't really clamp onto the cable. They don't really clamp onto the hose very good. And they don't fit these A-arms very well. And I don't think it's the clamp's fault. I think it's just full flight. Because I wrapped this around the roll design and it fit no problem. So I think it's just these use a weird size tubing or something. But it's, like I said, guys, it's a done quad. The radiator's a GPI unit, and at first I thought it was pretty good, but this lower spout here, so I was stupid and I got the radiator for an 87. I should have just got the radiator for an 88 to 89, because those radiators, the spigots just point straight out, and you can kind of do whatever you want with it, whereas the 86 and 87 radiators, the spigots point inward, and this one right here pointed right into the frame. So I had to heat this up and bend that out to get it to where, the hose will clear not only the frame but the exhaust. So for 90 bucks included the hoses, I guess it's kind of worth it, but just be prepared, you're gonna have to make it fit. I am completely, so far I haven't ridden with them, but I really like these polyurethane bushings. That one over there I went with Pivot Works swing arm bearings on that, like the OEM style needle bearings with the sleeves. And on this one I decided to go with the polyurethane bushings. So far so good. They fit perfect. The swing arm fit perfect. So far I like them. I don't see why they wouldn't work. A lot of people are like, they're horrible, why would you do that? It makes no sense. You need to be running the needle type bearing. I get that, but you know what? This Corvette has Prothane polyurethane bushings all the way around. Every single bushing on this car is polyurethane, and it has been for like the last 20,000 miles. No problems. So I know this gets abused a little bit more than something that's on the street, but I think they're going to be fine. I mean, when you think about it, a swing arm probably only pivots, the range of motion isn't that much. So, and if they wear out and I detect play, super easy to get rid of them and put new ones in. And another good benefit to these is you really don't have to grease your swing arm pivot bolt. I still did, just for corrosion and to make it easier to remove, I guess, but it's not going to get stuck in there like it does with bearings, like how a lot of people have seized swing arm pivot bolts. That won't happen with the polyurethane bushings. So we got that all in there. I don't really know if there's much else to tell you guys about. What you see is what you get. So do want to give a shout out to my friend Robert Hermosi. These throttles are just, after I've had them, I just can't, even though this is a budget build, and I'm not going to include that in the price, because you could use the stock 250R throttle, which those are kind of expensive. They're over $100, but you can also use a 450R or 400EX throttle if you shave down the inside a little bit. So I'm not going to include that in the price of this build. That's kind of my own. There's a bunch of things that we're going to go over at the end that I'm not going to include in my price. Like the rotor guard, you don't need the rotor guard. You don't need the sprocket guard. You don't need a kill tether. You really don't need a CR250 ignition. You don't need the Hermosi throttle. There's a lot of things that you don't need that you could save money on. But to me, I like, when I ride, I like to ride for a long time. And this is just completely takes the fatigue out of riding. When you get tired, like if you just want to sit down and just ride really slow, pull the thumb throttle out. Actually, I already have it in the most forward position, but there's a middle position. So you have 3 positions that you can adjust quickly on the fly. But there's a set screw here that you can adjust the height of the thumb throttle lever, as well as the initial position, the fore and aft position. So you literally have infinite adjustability. You can adjust the angle, just like the stock one, but you can also adjust the height. And then while you're riding and you don't have tools on you, you have preset positions. It's just such a game changer. At first I thought it was really gimmicky. Then I bought one and I was like, holy crap. And now everything has them. And we've become really good friends and have ridden together. And he's just a great guy. Like he's just he's just a stand-up dude. And don't hesitate to buy one of these and support his products. They're just, it's where it's at. It's one of those innovative products that comes along every now and then that just makes riding just more enjoyable. Because before, you know, it starts out in your thumb, then kind of goes to like your palm and then your forearm, and then you got to stop for a little bit. And not with this. Ride for hours. In fact, that's what I do every time I ride. You know, I'll goof around with my friends for a little bit, but I'll make it a point every time I ride to ride for an hour straight or more. Sometimes like an hour and a half or 2 hours straight, just riding, hard straight riding. And I don't think I could do that without that throttle. So yeah, these tires are on here just for now. I'm probably gonna either get another set of motocross tires like I have on the black 250R or something. Not sure yet. Or I might just leave these on there. I don't know. So I'm just going to do a quick walk around of this, kind of focus on a few areas, and then I'll cut it. And I'll check back with you guys in a week or 2 weeks. And at that point, the next video you'll see, she'll be running. We'll be riding it. She's pretty clean, guys, for mostly, you know, 80 to 90% used parts. Pretty clean. Thank you guys for watching. Check back in a week or two. Should be a finished product. We'll be ripping on it.